Now, the Law Society of Kenya has moved to the High Court to challenge the constitutionality of the 1.5% housing levy as contained in the Finance Act 2023.
Under a certificate of urgency, lawyers' body is seeking fresh orders from the courts to halt the process in its entirety.
Last Friday, the Court of Appeal lifted a ruling by the High Court that had shelved the implementation of the same. Take a look.
Exactly a week after a three-judge bench of the appellate court comprising Justices Mohamed Warsame, Kadhuri Maminoti and Helen Omondi gave a green light for implementation of the Finance Act 2023, the Law Society of Kenya is back to the High Court seeking fresh orders to block the 1.5% housing levy.
To seek to stop the implementation of the order as has been directed by the Minister of Lands and appointing KRA as the collection agent.
Among the pleas by the lawyers' body is to have the application of the levy halted in its entirety, that Kenyans should not contribute to a mandatory scheme. The court to hear and determine the Finance Act 2023 they had filed earlier, among others.
Our application, which we had filed earlier, seeking to stop the implementation of the housing fund be heard before the court can determine the question of the validity of the housing fund.
They will now wait for the court to give its directions. While parents of a minor have been arraigned at a narrow court for subjecting their 15-year-old girl to female genital mutilation while she was 7 months pregnant. Both the father and the mother of the victim pleaded not guilty and were released on 100,000 shillings bond. The case will be heard next on 25th of August 2023 as the minor seeks refuge at Tasaru Rescue Center. And Bishop Charles Gadhi has been put to task to explain how he was conned in a 200 million shillings tender to supply computers to the state.
For me, the documents before the court are documents that you came with, the inspector came with, and they are here.
According to Gadhi, he was approached by a man purporting to be working at Nyati House to supply 1,1200 laptops to the state.
If they say one person is around and countable person is there, and I have known this countable person is the one who introduced me to the CEO.
And the said man then introduced him to another man alleged to be a major general at the Department of Defense, who offered him another tender for supplying surveillance equipment for Department of Military Intelligence worth 40 million shillings, only to realize later that he has been conned. Michael Mundiga for Easy Friday.